Rasta sit down in my African coat. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David turns Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people to go meet it up, pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it up. No weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You're everything, Father. Thank you. Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of life. Send down your warriors with the hello, they carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this time is coming, I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we is my soul? No weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. I am a man, I am a champion, I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 92.9 Sister Al Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, 94.9 We Noise Radio in Brooklyn, New York, and of course, all of you lovely people joining us on the live stream, whether it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on Instagram, wherever you are. Good morning to you. And of course, with me in studio, I have none other than my co-host, Mr. Roland Bola. Good morning, Mr. Bola.
Good morning to you, Mr. Duncan. Good morning to our listeners out there. It's again another pleasure to be here with you. It's Thursday. We're winding down to the weekend, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, terrific Thursday.
Thursday. I like that.
It's a nice Thursday morning. It's a little drizzle came not too long ago here in the parish of St. George. I don't know what it's like in the other parts of Grenada, but whatever the weather condition, I do hope that those of you who are joining us would make some noise, that your neighbor know that you're on listening to Hard Talk, where you get real information in real time, factual information that can be verified and fact-checked. So they can join in too, by whatever means, whether it's by radio or on any of the other platforms. Good morning to you all.
Good morning, Mr. Bola. It is a beautiful morning. The sun is shining. I feel alive. I feel free.
Yes.
I feel, especially following that conversation yesterday. Oh, Lord. I feel wonderful as a woman. Good morning. Good morning to those of you on the live video. It's always a pleasure having you. It's always a pleasure being here, sitting here, talking to you. I do want to inform the public that there is a sitting of Parliament happening. You know, Mr. Bola, you know what sitting
Today?
it is? Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not.
Youth Parliament.
Oh, it's Youth Parliament. Because I was kind of a little baffled there because I didn't hear about...
Yes, the young people are in Parliament this morning, and they are debating.
So, normally it's called a mock Parliament.
Mock Parliament, you're correct.
Right. So I think we should say that for the abundance of clarity, so that there won't be anyone out there believing, how come Parliament happening in secret?
And nobody, you understand,
It's a mock Parliament.
Well, we do have a few things that we want to discuss this morning, Mr. Bola, and of course we're going to take it along the lines of agriculture this morning, because there has been a lot of talk surrounding agriculture. Everybody has an opinion of what it should be, where it should be, how it should be, why it should be, the way it should be. But it's all talk, right? And everybody should be able to view or air their opinion on how they feel something should be or how something should be carried out. Of course, it is in their right to do so. However, make sure that when you are making those points that you indicate that it is your own opinion. Sometimes we believe that when we share our opinions, it should become fact, but we have to be careful. So last night in the news, I was looking at one of the media houses, and I saw a clip that really appealed to me, Mr. Bola.
Yeah.
Really, really, really appealed to me. There was an individual farmer who was rather upset. He was perturbed because, let me just, it's better if I just play that clip for you so that you understand what is happening. But of course, Mr. Bola, we also have to talk about these new amendments to the bill, to the Public Health Act. There were some amendments that were made.
Public Health Act, or it is, doesn't it have something in it about contagious disease or something? It is to do with public health, but I'm not sure that's the correct name for the bill.
And it hasn't been debated in the Senate as yet.
No, not at all.
It just went through the lower house, so we're waiting on the debate in the Senate. And I do encourage Grenadians, young and old, to really listen to what is taking place as it relates to the discussion on that amendment, because it is going to affect us all. And when I say affect, I know when people hear the word affect, they think, oh my God, it's going to be something negative. No, it is definitely going to affect us all, because as we move into this new normal, as we move into this new area where we have protocols that guide us, for our health and our own safety, we have to become familiar with these things. There have been a few amendments to the protocols as it stands right now. Very good amendments, I must say. And of course, Mr. Minister Steele, he made mention, Mr. Bola, of some of the new protocols that will be placed for people in the entertainment sector, people who have bar owners, bar operators, nightclub owners, nightclub operators, all of these things all of these things will be taken into consideration, have been taken into consideration, and discussions have happened surrounding it. So let me see here quickly if I can play a piece of this clip for you, Mr. Paul, and then we'll have a conversation surrounding it.
Well, I hope you would play it so that all of our listeners.
Well, everybody could hear it.
Okay, great, nice.
All right, let me see if I can get that started here for us.
Communication strategy.
All right. Let's see what's going on here.
You need to giant a certain thickness.
All right.
Association doesn't have money to buy any nutmeg. They could take the nutmeg from farmers because farmers does not have any facilities to dry the nutmeg and give them an IOU. But these people, they fail to implement that. You understand that? And as a result, we farmers ending up having to dry the nutmeg without no facilities, and is a problem to us.
That was concerned nutmeg farmer Roland Harford, speaking on the challenges that nutmeg farmers face, having to store and dry their own nutmegs to maintain its quality due to GCNA's inability to purchase nutmegs on a regular basis. He says the association should relieve the farmers of their nutmegs because they have the facilities to properly dry and store the seeds, even if the GCNA has their own financial challenges.
The association doesn't have any problem. The only problem they have is cash flow, because them have the facilities to dry the nutmeg. So why they should make us dry the nutmeg without facilities, and them have the facilities to do that?
Harford says farmers made an agreement with the association that they will accept the nutmegs and they will accept payment later due to the cash flow issue.
They said that they were having cash flow problems. That is why they were unable to buy the nutmeg on a daily basis. And they explained that COVID was causing that because they wasn't able to export as they should. That we understand. But what I can understand is why they can't take it and pay us when they have cash instead of waiting until they have cash to pay us. Because you see, when they make we dry the nutmeg, they compromise in the quality of the nutmeg. Because nutmeg is a thing you need to be torn every day, and you need to dry at a certain thickness.
According to reports, many nutmeg farmers have been forced to store their own nutmegs due to the GCN's inability to buy nutmegs on a regular basis. And while drying of the nutmegs is encouraged to maintain its value and longevity, most farmers do not have the facilities, which include the use of drawers and regular turning on a daily basis during the process. For MTV News, I am.
All right, Mr. Bola, and there we have it. Well, there we have it.
Well,
you know,
as you rightly said, it is not a portion of news. It's not a news item that any one of us, whether we are into the farming industry or not, should be happy about. This is a farmer complaining, and from the voice and the name of the farmer is someone whom I know. It's a farmer from St. Andrews. And of course, he's a nutmeg farmer. He farms other things, but he does farm nutmeg. I know that for a fact. And from what I gathered from that news item is that he's stating claim that farmers have been left with nutmegs on hand, and they have to go through the process of drying and getting the nutmeg at a stage or in a state where it will be of the best quality for the market. It's something that you need certain skills and training to do. The association would normally purchase what is called green nutmegs from farmers, and they have the drying facilities, they have the queuing facilities, they do all the treatment that they need to do so that you would have a first quality standard nutmeg that the market is prepared to accept and pay good price for. But also interesting in that clip is that the farmer is claiming that the association indicated to farmers, and it's presumptuous at the last AGM meeting, which was not very long ago, that they were not in a position to buy nutmegs daily because of cash flow issues. And as such, an arrangement was reached, maybe verbally, from my understanding, that they may have to take nutmeg from farmers and give them a promissory note, an IOU note, something that lets them know they will get paid futuristically when there is cash, when there is money. And however, he's saying they're not implementing that. While that was discussed, that was agreed from his own words, it is not being implemented by the association. So that draws into question a number of things, which I'm not in a position to answer, but I'll just lay it out there because I think that's an issue that we probably need to dive into a little more. But we need to first verify and get the relevant information, because we do not want to say things out of timing and out of place.
Yeah.
But it draws into question, which I would just raise and leave it, because I think over the next couple of days, we should have sufficient time, because that was just a news item last night, to investigate properly. Because we do not want to be like other programs and other stations and just, cast aspersions and say things without having all of the facts. But it draws into question two things. One, that when COVID came around, because the farmer mentioned COVID, saying that's a possible reason, based on the reasons given to them by the association, why they are strapped cash at the moment, because maybe they cannot export as they wanted to, the difficulties with finding airlines or boats or whatever to transport, and all of the conditionalities that is now attached to the movements of goods and people from one place to another due to COVID. Mm-hmm. But I know as a result of that, and citing that, the government in its wisdom very early made an approach and had a conclusion that they were prepared, both associations, both commodity boards, cocoa and nutmeg, to provide them with up to $1 million in grant money that they did not have to pay. 1 million cocoa, 1 million nutmeg, which government said they wanted them to use, and there was going to be an agreement in place to say that this 1,000 in grant should be used to prop up and help keep, especially the daily paid workers and so on staff. And then a loan of, I believe, 2 million to and the figures are a little mixed up in my head now. I think 2 million to cocoa, 3 million to nutmeg, or 2 million to nutmeg and 1 million to cocoa.
I think it's 2 million and 1.
2 and 1, mm-hmm. Somewhere along the line, as a loan to be paid over a period. I think the nutmeg loan was supposed to be paid over 10 years with a very minimal interest rate. The cocoa 7 years because they was getting less, whatever. So apart from the loan, there was supposed to be a grant. Now, where are we with that at the moment? I don't know. I remember it was agreed upon, it was approved by cabinet, and what I learned some months ago was that they were waiting. They had written to both associations, indicating to them that yes, the government is prepared, has the money, and is ready to give. However, there must be some sort of arrangement, some legal documents to be drawn up, how the monies will be spent, what the monies are supposed to be used for. Where are we with that now? That's one of the questions, and we need to verify before we can say more. But secondly, the whole issue of amalgamation, coming together, the joining of the two boards, because 90% of the farmers who do nutmeg also do cocoa. And to put them under one association where farmers can get greater benefit, where they can become more cost effective, where less money would have to be spent on a manager for cocoa and a manager for nutmeg, and a board of directors for cocoa and a board of directors for nutmeg, and all of those issues. Now we are hearing that, look, you can't take the nutmegs from farmers because you don't have cash. Maybe there can be some greater savings. Maybe we need to look deeper into it. Maybe it is time that the farmers understand more that it is their association and they need to take a stronger hold, a better hold, and stop playing the politics about the government want to take and give to the Chinese and all those foolish talk, for want of a better word, that we are hearing about. Yes? So, I mean, it really, really bothers and boggles the mind when you hear a farmer having to complain that he cannot sell his produce because the association is saying we don't have the dollars and cents that would afford us the ability to take the nutmegs from the farmer's hand, which is why in the first place the association was set up, which is why you have these people there to manage, especially the marketing the marketing of the farmers' produce. But as I have said before, I would not like to deliberate a lot more on the issue until we can get some greater verification, until we can ask some questions. And the question that I ask, where are we at this time? Is it a situation where the associations did not accept the money? Have they accepted it and have you finished or complete the utilization of the money? Is it because government didn't give as they promised? I don't know. And I don't want to see. I don't want to speculate. So let us use the next couple of days to verify all of the facts. And so early next week, God's willing, we can come back on this issue because I think it is important enough. There's a lot of talk about agriculture. What more should be done? How much more government should be doing? That more and more and more. And so we have to understand that the role of getting agriculture to the place where most of us think it should be is not only left up to government, but there are so many other people and so many other players in the game that must come up to the plate and do as they're supposed to do.
For those of you on the live video who's wondering why you're seeing our cover page and not us, it's because we have a technician in studio, and I think he's a little camera shy. So we're affording him his privacy by blocking him out. But also, Mr. Bola, we have to take into consideration the issue of liberalization, because I don't think that people understand what liberalization really is and what it means for the farmers. Because with the liberalization, issues like this would be I'm not saying it wouldn't come up at all, but it would be greatly diminished, because now you have a market that is open. Now you have a market where there are other players. So even if GCNA is unable to purchase because of whatever reasons, financial or space or whatever the issue is, purchase the nutmeg or the product from the farmers, they have other sources. It means the opening up of the market for these farmers so that they are now able to sell their produce to different people, and they don't have to go through the stress of having to dry cocoa and nutmeg inside their living room and as you saw in the video and all these things. As he said, the quality of the nutmeg is being affected.
Yeah, it's compromised.
Based on the fact that there isn't proper storage. So what he did is he's appealing now to the GCNA to really just take it off their hands. You don't have the money, we understand. Because guess what? That's their sweat and blood,
Yeah, and that's a livelihood for a lot of people. That's, the nutmeg, the cocoa, that's their livelihood. And when it's not taken from them, when they are not certain, what would happen to the commodity, it creates a further problem, a further burden, a greater concern, because now my livelihood is disappearing right before my eyes. So as you rightly said, liberalization takes care of some of these problems. But I believe that there are also some people that are concerned about protectionism. And if you are liberalized, then it simply means that the protection that the association now has, they will not have it any longer. And so some people are concerned about that. But these are all issues that we have to dive into and discuss one by one. We have had some discussions on that before, but we probably really need to revisit it. So let's try and capture all of the facts surrounding. That was just one farmer. There are several other farmers that we may be able to touch base with and find out whether the situation is similar with them. Is it a district issue where, because the association had several districts and they buy at different points? Is it a district issue where at a particular district that is happening but it's different in other districts? I don't know. We need to investigate. We need to verify. We need to get all of the facts and really bring it. So the discussion can be held. What we like to do here is have open and quality discussion where facts is what we can present.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So I'm hoping that this is resolved in a timely manner, and that's why I always say, in issues like this, it's never advisable that we let politics play a part. Because this issue was so highly politicized that it was difficult for them to really make an informed decision on what is best for them, because you had all kind of political whisperings in the air, trying to make them feel like the minister wanted to take over cocoa and nutmeg, and trying to make them feel like the government wanted to take cocoa away from them or take nutmeg away from them, when that really wasn't
Absolutely
the
not.
issue.
Absolutely not.
So I often advise it is important for us to not let politics become that decision-making factor, in a lot of issues, especially when it's an issue that will affect your personal property or your personal or your financial gain or whatever it is. Always hear two sides of the story. Let logic reign.
Well, I oftentimes say three sides, right?
Three sides.
Because the political pundits would have their side. The board and the farmers will have their side. And then there are the real issues that sometimes get caught and squeezed in the middle that we don't hear much about. So we need to get the people who have the real issues to speak as well on the issue. And as you have correctly put it, Ms. Duncan, many times issues that should be on the front burner get pushed behind simply because there are some players in the game that decide to cover everything with a political blanket. Everything becomes very politicized. Everything is about a we against us. Everything is about the government versus who. It's about the government wanting to do, and with whatever they say government is wanting to do, it is never about the positive. They always put a negative spin to it. And sometimes we have to ask ourselves, what are the benefits for these people to derive with or to get from behaving in the way they're behaving, from saying the things they're saying and doing the things they're doing? So we have to be much more clever as a people. And we have to, as we oftentimes say here, look after our business, mind our own business, see what is best for us. What should our next step be? Where would this thing bring us? Do investigation, ask questions, speak to people in and out of the industry, people who have the knowledge and skills, people who are business oriented, people who can help you to make a very quality-oriented decision, a decision that is going to benefit you later down the line. So we don't just take everything and run with it. We don't just say, oh, well, you see what happened with the nutmeg now? They can't buy the nutmeg. Farmer said that. That's why I say, let's investigate. Let's know what. Let's know why. Let's know what the real situation is. Let us not jump. And then soon you may see something, well, if the government is doing more, what more? What is the more? The association is independent. Is independent from government. Government give assistance where and when they can, how best they can, and had offered. And like I say, I don't know where that is now, whether they have already received, whether there is a blockage, and what is, if there is a blockage, what is it? What caused it? How can we deal with it? How can we move it? Because at the end of the day, the interest of the government, as should be the interest of the association, is to help and ensure that the farmers continue to have a livelihood and eventually a better life.
Absolutely. And you're so right, Mr. Bola. You are absolutely right. Because at the end of the day, when it all boils down, and I always say this, when it all boils down, every person must make a decision that affects them personally, right? So as a farmer, you must sit and you must say, don't let people whisper in your ear and say to you, because you were hearing the Nutmeg Association telling them, no, say no to liberalization, say no to the merger, because the government wanted to take it over. And you had some farmers that for lack of better information, actually believed that.
Yes.
But now you are seeing on the flip side of the coin, just months later, that the association in itself is unable to purchase from the farmer, them being the sole entity by law, the sole entity that is able to purchase from farmers. They are unable to purchase the nutmeg. What happens now? Do they now turn to the same government that they say that they told, well, are they trying to take over the association from us? Are they going to now turn back to them and say, we need money for price support again? Is that what will happen?
Maybe not. Maybe they'll find a new sponsor. Maybe they'll take a loan. I don't know. I really don't. And I say, let's ride it out for the rest of the week. And let's try to gather as much as we can so we can be in a place where we can speak more authoritatively and on the issue,
and
give people the facts and the rationale behind what is happening.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to open the lines. The number to call is 440-7377 if you are calling locally. If you are in the diaspora and you want to give us a call, the number to call is 347-329-3101. You can also call us via WhatsApp or send us a message, or you can even post your comments on the live video stream. Be a part of the conversation. Don't just sit and listen. Let us know what you think. And we like to open, well, I have to start opening the lines early now because the people are complaining that they are not given sufficient time to call.
Well, we're trying to give more time to call,
Yes.
but I want to appeal to some people. Yes, you may have a lot to say. And what you say may make a lot of sense, but be mindful that there may be others who have just 2 pence that they want to add. Yes,
Yeah.
You may have a lot of dollars, but there are those who have 2 pence and they'd like to get it into. So let's be mindful of that, and so employ some good sense and calling etiquette, because that's a word that is being used for everything now, and not take too long when we are on the phone
delivering. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
we have other opportunities on other days. And as much as possible, if you have information on what we were trying to discuss, the issue of the inability of the association to purchase and to take nutmegs from farmers. Now, if you do, and it's credible information, we'd like to hear it from you.
All right, we have a caller on the line, Mr. Bowler, first caller for the morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Duncan.
Hi, Miss Cammy, how are
Good morning,
you?
to you, and good morning to Mr. Bowler.
Good morning, Miss Cammy.
Yes, and good morning, Mr. Bowler. Good morning, Miss Carrie.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
You know something, sir? I always tune into this program, if it's about to call.
Yes.
I always tune in to listen to the people and listen to y'all. I want to say good morning to Sheldon. Stop a little while I don't hear him.
No, he's not on air, but he's there. He's listening.
I know. I don't always sing him on the phone, but I don't see call and say good morning to mom, so I don't know if something wrong with him.
Oh, okay.
He always call me, and I'm on send a little message for me.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Well, he's listening, so now he knows to call
Good morning, Sheldon Scott. Your mother here. And good morning to Mr. Watt in New York, and Mr. Deputy, Mr. Watt, his wife, Jingo, Ian in Canada, and all the listeners, Grenadians home and abroad. Good morning. It's a beautiful day in Grenada today. And to the public, all you come down and get some spice by me, and here as Zabuka, $3 for $5.
Wow.
Will you believe that?
Wow.
Will you believe you're getting 3 Zabuka? Better known as spare, whatever the name we have in Grenada. You get 3 for $5.
Yep.
3 play.
Good.
Where some place you have to pay $5 for one
Yes.
and $4. I have for 3. 3 for 5. Right?
Yes.
And I want to say good morning to the Prime Minister and to the rest of ministers in government, those so-called opposition, and all the haters that call in the Prime Minister only good morning. You know, we still can't hate these people. As a people, we have to still pray for them. You understand?
Yes.
We have to pray for them, Mr. Bula.
Yep.
We have to sit down and think that something wrong with these people. They have problems. You understand?
Yeah.
So we have to pray for them. Anyhow, what I want to say is that we comment for a lot of Canadians is listening about what they read. What else with that? And about agriculture. We said agriculture, but we have food. But what we does? What's wrong with these people? We need to over the years. This farming they do.
Yes.
They send some of the children to school who is just on riots and all kind of things. They forget. That's what the parents do, the poor parents. And the parents do work on the cocoa. You send them to school to get a better education. And these same people talking, what's wrong with them?
Yeah.
We thought agriculture was good. But of course, in the thanks to the people, the farmers, you know.
Yes.
Thanks to the farmers when the rice and the pasta couldn't come in. Thanks to the farmers that the road with the cabbage and the carrots and the blood and pig. You know, when this thing just hit us in Grenada and they shut down, farmers out there thanks to these people. What's wrong with you all? I have to stop that. And anywhere they put these people, they're going to walk. Anywhere they put them, they're going to walk. So appealing to the people with a negative way. Stop that. They only have to stop it and have respect for the farmers of this land. Only 3 or 5 cities. That's what you tell you. I had breadfruit on Mr. Bola.
Yes.
I had breadfruit. They just falling in the air and mash up. I couldn't get them up the tree so tall. And I bring them breadfruit and I all fast and in them one.
Okay.
I picked okra this morning. I've red corn. I'm making a corn soup tomorrow.
Okay.
I made a pumpkin soup this morning. That grow right where I live in Mushaju.
Yeah.
Right where I live in. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So without agriculture, what happened to us?
Yeah.
And I wanted, Mr. David, keep on. You have supporters. You have people behind you because I know you're a good man. Although when I call him, you don't answer me now. That's all right.
Maybe you get too busy.
You understand?
Yes.
But he can be busy, too busy to answer my call. Right? Yes. And next thing, yesterday, right in front of my place here, a bus driver came up to me. They just get at me
Yes.
and telling me, China giving us so much, they go want back something. What we have? China don't want. We don't want nothing. A busman, right? A foreigner, come and telling me, China giving us so much and they go want back. What we have, Mr. Bola?
Nothing.
So to the China. It's only Grenada China helping.
All over the world, China
All
helping
over the
country.
world.
Yep.
I don't understand why.
Look how many years now Cuba has been helping us in all kind of things.
All years, I
Scholarships,
work
sending
with
doctors,
Cuban
nurses,
doctors.
everything.
I work with the Cuban doctors, the first set of Cuban doctors that came to Grenada, Austin and Blanche and all of them. I work with them. I used to wash and iron the clothes and clean the hotel because the cottages where they was living.
Yes.
You understand? Cuba do so much for us and still sometimes we costing them.
Mm-hmm.
And they still helping. What we have, China will want.
Yeah.
So these people are going to have to stop this thing. You understand?
Yes.
And we have to educate our people. Because a lot of us have a jacket and time we have no education. Yeah? They don't have no education because China go take back. They selling passports. They don't say, yeah. They don't have parliament anymore, yeah. And these people, they don't have parliament here, the law house and higher house. And
Okay.
the terminal here. And now they're selling passports and calling people out and in. When they see you, Mr. Bola, and they see Mr. David, and they see the Prime Minister, they go on to another, they change the
Yes.
topic. And they're so bad-minded and hypocrite. That has hurt me, sir. That has really hurt me. We must stop that. Because a lot of us going to take communion when the sun come. And some of us going in church and bawl hallelujah. I said that hypocrisy, and we have to stop that. Anyhow, you all have a blessed day. And we have to support our ministers. And I want them to know this morning, who here tell the others, they need the supporters.
Yes.
That is very important to all the politicians. You all need all the supporters, the good people. The people on the ground, you all need them. Okay?
Yes.
It's very important. It's very important. And I start to campaign already. Have a blessed day.
You have a wonderful one
Mr.
yourself.
Watch, everybody, depot, everybody out there. Grenada is beautiful today. Right? We have golden apple, that in season now. We have a lot of avocado, we have breadfruit, mango, some failing, but we have food in Grenada.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day.
You too, Miss Gabby.
Also, big Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have food. So when they stay in America, and some of them leave their family is in trouble, and saying Grenada corrupt, send a barrel for some of your family and relatives in Grenada. But we have food here. Have a blessed day.
You're good now. Take care,
Thank you, Miss
Cam.
Cam.
Bye-bye.
You know, Mr. Bowler, what Miss Cammy say, I just had to laugh a little because she is so right. The United States of America, as big as it is, owes China I think it's
I know it's in the
$1.8 trillion dollars
Yes.
in debt.
Yeah. What is it China is taking from the US for that?
They're picking up half of the US and go with it and bring it back in China.
$1.8 trillion. Grenada doesn't owe the Chinese any money. Whatever we're getting from the Chinese are gifts.
Yeah.
Negotiated for. The conditions are laid out how we get it. There's nothing that Grenada has to give in return. 2,000 houses to be built.
Yeah.
During the era of the NDC in office, when they said to the Chinese, you had promised us 2,000 low-income houses.
Give us the money.
We don't need all of that. Give us the cost. Give us the dollars and cents for 1,000 of the houses. What did we have to give back for that? What did the Chinese want back when that request was made?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we just talk because we have a tongue, or we talking because we think that we are so convincing, or are we talking because we believe that people are listening to us and we can convince them of something? I mean, there are Chinese all over the world, in every part of the world.
And you know, Mr. Pola, I get very offended when somebody says something to me. I know it's a lie. It's clearly verifiable. It's something I could just pick up a phone and make a phone call and I could get the facts on it. And somebody feels the need to just come and mislead me on purpose. I am offended. No, honestly, as a person, I am offended. I feel like in that person's mind, they say, well, watch, they're stupid there. So let me just tell them what we want and they go take it and run with it. I feel very, very offended as a person when somebody does that. So when people sit and they say these kind of nonsense things, look, the Prime Minister said that we don't have any major loans owed to China. But yet for all, they say the Prime Minister lie. Well, if he lie, Mr. Bowler, I would like to see the truth. I hate to hear people say, oh, you lie, and up to now, they cannot tell you what the truth is. In order for you to come to the conclusion that I have told some sort of untruth, it means that you must have some factual data that proves that what I am saying is not true, you know. Or else then what grounds am I lying on?
Yes.
You know, so we as Grenadians, we must really think sometimes. When somebody comes to us and say, that person lied, or that person corrupted, or that person ain't telling the truth, or that person thief, I want to know what, how, where, when, why, where you get that information. I want to see the video. I want to see the court records.
I don't want to see no
I want to
video.
see the proof.
I don't want to see
it.
Because you can make all kind of videos these days. Eh?
Well, true.
I mean, technology allows us to do
a lot of things.
Take an ex-man's body and put your face and all kind of things, so they can capture a photo of a man doing something and put your face on it and make it.
Recently, I'll give you a joke. Recently, we sent out some congratulatory messages to the representatives and so on, telling them that, you know, it's good, the cabinet reshuffle, we wish them well in whatever the endeavor it is they're taking. Papa Bonje, you would never believe that the opposition or opposition forces took our pictures, posted some of their prominent or whoever personalities, activists' faces on it, and sent it out, trying to make it look as if we idle here in NNP to sit down and do this kind of nonsense. So we don't have work to do.
I don't know. Yeah, you tell me. I always have work to do, and I will suspect so to other people who are engaged with the party and having to do work for the party, and of course those who are working elsewhere. So if you all are idle to do idle things, so be it. But, you know, it is important that as a people, as you rightly say, that we constantly stay upbeat and on our toes and be very, very careful with the information that we consume.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times there are a lot of people, and they have in the past, many people who are opposed to the NNP and to NNP supporters have referred to them as being dumb, or referred to us, I should say, as being dumb and foolish and not have. And as a result, in some instances, I believe some of them actually believe that is the case. Hence the reason they put out so much of
things.
this foolishness, so much of these things that have no sense of truth, and they are being so dishonest, and they believe that they can always captivate the minds of the people who support and follow the new National Party, because in their minds, and based on how they view us, based on how they discuss the discussions about us, is that we have no sense.
Yeah.
So they will continue. But we have to prove to them that they can go on as long as they want with the foolishness, but they are not going to. Well, I think the people of this country have already proven to them many, many times over that they are not going to fall for this fake news and this foolishness that they are carrying on with, because they have demonstrated in very strong terms at the polls on many occasions that, listen, go ahead, say what you want to say, make a mockery of the situation, lambast the country, curse the Prime Minister, but we're going to continue to vote for him because we accept and understand that what his intentions are, they are good. It is to assist us. It is to provide for our people. It is to make sure that the Grenadian people gets to a better place. Albeit, it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
Every situation does not give us the opportunity to prove that people always get the best that they're looking for. But there is definitely good intent on the part of the party, the Prime Minister, and all the representatives.
I had a very healthy conversation with some individuals in my area the other night, and one of the things that the person mentioned is, and that person is not necessarily a supporter of the New National Party. I speak to all different, so anybody out there who would think that, okay, well, you only listen to one side of the story, that is so far from the truth, it's not funny. I speak to a lot of people, and he made mention that most times you would ask, we're having a conversation, and he was saying, oh, well, it's time for Dr. Mitchell to retire and so on. I said, okay, that's your opinion, and I respect that. So who we put in there? That was my question to him. He couldn't answer the question, straight from the question, and went to the fact that, but in truth, sometimes when you ask somebody, they say they don't vote in for this person. When you ask them why they don't vote in, they can't tell you why. That was where the conversation left, because he couldn't figure out who he put in there. So that ended that conversation. So now we started with the conversation of, when you ask somebody why they're not voting for this person, they can't tell you why. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Duncan.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Bowler.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. I have to say one thing to the opposition, the NDC, who opposes everything. I have to say to them, we are not aliens. We are Grenadians living right here. And we know what is going on. So when they want to call all kind of names, and we don't with that, that's the opinion. But I always say the greatest hindrance to someone is the self. So they go ahead and say what they want to say. Then they go ahead and say it. Because we know when the election comes, the greater people will always make the right choice to elect the government that cares about them. The government that helps them to improve their living standards. Because in 2008, they got a chance to help develop the country and to put the country on a better footing. And what they did? They put the country backward. The country always going back. So I would say to the government, let us focus on what is going on in our country and to support the government for the wonderful achievement and wonderful thing that they continue to do to benefit each and every one of us. Even them who criticize and oppose everything. Whenever something good happens, they also benefit from it. So, Mr. Duncan, Mr. Bola, you'll have a wonderful day. Enjoy all day.
You as well. Thank you so much for your contribution. Caller. Yeah, Mr. Bola, I always tell people, especially young people that I speak to, you must know why you are voting. Don't let anybody fill your head with nonsense and hate and all these kind of things and try to sway your judgment because of how you feel about a situation. Let good sense prevail, always. Sit down and make an analysis. This is where we were. And you can't really vote in the right way if you don't know where we came from, where we are, and where we are headed. You must analyze these three things first before you make a decision on any party that you choose to support. You look at what they stand for. You look at what they have done for the country, the choices that they have made, even the choices that they make in opposition as well, because that is going to help you determine how they are going to function when they get in there, Because if they're functioning like that outside in opposition, when they get into government, it doesn't mean they're going to do a complete and total 360. They're behaving just so. So you have to identify for yourself what has been done, where we came from, where we are now, what process has taken us from where we were to where we are, what development have we experienced in this in these past 10 years or 15 years or 20 years that will let me say, okay, I will give these people another chance. What are these factors that you put into place? These are the things that should determine who you're voting for. Not, I ain't like this person, that person too old, that person there too long. These are not good factors to make this kind of decisions, because guess what? We're not playing chess. It's not chess we're playing, This is not an 8-ball where you spin and then I tell you, yes, vote for this person. It doesn't work like that. You must make informed decisions, because the decision that you make is what will affect your country in the next 5 years. Remember in 2008 when or even beyond that. Remember when we sang about a wind of change that was blowing in 2008? And that wind was like a hurricane.
It's blowing.
Some people still have not yet recovered 10 years after. We have another caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Duncan. Good morning, Mr. Bowler. How are you guys doing today?
I know I am well, and Miss Duncan looks well from where I sit.
I'm well.
All right. My contribution this morning. I want to say something first, that some people, they let people think for them. And I would say some people are so lazy that they don't even want to think for themselves. Mm-hmm. So whatever people tell them, they just run with it. They would not even find out why the person say, what they hope to achieve by saying what they have said. Now, the next thing is, I never knew that there were so many agricultural organizations until I was listening to GBN a couple mornings ago, and I heard that they have this organization and that organization. And I was thinking, well, if you have so much organization in agriculture, how is it that people are saying that agriculture is dying? If you have so much organization, why aren't they making an impact on the agricultural industry? And, I just think about it and sort of analyzing the situation. It's either, one, they do not want to push agriculture because they want the government to look bad, or they are in this organization because there are some benefits within the as being part of the organization. Because you cannot tell me that you have all these organizations, people still sit and waiting on the government. Like the government, like the executive, I would look at the government as the executives within the agricultural sector. They expect the executives to go in the field and work the land and sell the produce. And, it shocks me because I know the government has a lot of program, and there are some people inside the agricultural sector that may not be pulling their weight because they want the government to look bad.
Maybe. Good way.
So sometimes we look at things and you have to analyze what is taking place because, okay, it's like the churches. You're in a church, something ain't working for you, you move out of the church and you go into another one. But the thing is, everybody aiming to go to heaven, but nobody wants to work Nobody wants to do what it takes for us to go to heaven. They're talking about they want the country to develop. They want the agricultural sector to develop. But nobody is willing to work. No, the farmers, well, no, I shouldn't say nobody. As somebody said on another program this morning, that the farmers that we have are getting old. And it's true, they're getting old. And the young people do not want to work the land because they find it is too much work. You cannot even get somebody to cut some bush in your yard for you because they find it who go in and do all this hard work. Unless we change our mindset and come away from this government must do this and government must do that, we are not going to achieve what we have to achieve in the agricultural sector. They have all these organizations, and the reason they have all these organizations is because they cannot come together. They cannot see eye to eye to have one organization and say, let us come together and pull our weight and do what we're supposed to do. And everybody sit on there blaming government. Like government must take the fork, the hoe, the spade, the whatever, and go in the land and work it and find a market. The organization could help. What are you an organization for? What are you doing as an agricultural organization? You know, it is sad to see, you know, so much people, everything they want, the government, they want good health care, nobody wants to pay for it. Where is the government going to get all the money to put into that? They want free education, government has to find the money. But if you tell them they have to pay a little more for tax, like you tell them they have to pay a registration fee of $50 for the tablet, they're up in arms. Where they going to get it from? You know, but the government has to find the money to pay for it at the end of the day. And where is the government going to get the money from? So if you have so much, if you want the government to do so much, you have to make up your mind to take out more from your pocket, you know. The workers have to make up their mind to take out more from the pocket because the government cannot do it alone. And people talking about government need to create jobs, more jobs. I mean, where in the world can government employ everybody? I know the government has programs that are available for people to take advantage of. And they still have to beg people to come and take advantage of these opportunities. I mean, come on. Are we that lazy? Are we that dumb? Are we that backward that we cannot see that when something is there for our benefit? You know, Mr. Bola, Ms. Duncan, you all have a blessed day.
Well, you as well, and we thank you for your contribution this morning. You know, one case in point, so many organizations in agriculture. Why? There are some people, when they form themselves into organizations and you're registered, there are certain concessionary terms that comes with it.
Yep.
So the leadership of those organizations do benefit at times. And I'm not saying that's the case with every one of the organizations in agriculture.
Yeah.
But some do benefit. They do get benefits. They do get concessions and so from government in different areas. So that could be one reason. And we can get into that a little more because we have another caller on the line.
Good morning, caller.
Yes, good morning, lady.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Hello? Hello? Oh, it seems like we lost, but we do have another call coming in on the other line. Yeah, maybe they crossed. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan. Mr. Bola, good morning to you.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
Yes. I would like some help, please, before I find there is somebody that is missing in action. That is Ms. Bonadine. I think she is the leader of the party, not the opposition. But I find I'm hearing every day Mr. Thomas. I don't know what happened to her. I don't know if she's well. I mean, she's a public figure. I don't think she should be keep certain things in the dark. So I don't know if Mr. Bola might know why is she so quiet. Mr. Bola, you have any idea?
Well, I absolutely don't. I have no idea. I don't know. But the fact that you have raised it, I'll do the best I can over the next couple of days to inquire and see if I can get some information for you.
I honestly find it's worrying because as a leader of the party, I'm not hearing her. We're not hearing her. We're not seeing her.
But you're certain she's still the leader? Because NDC has a way of changing leaders in a strange kind of way that sometimes we don't know about, yeah?
Well, that is true. That is true. So this is why I'm worried, because I'm not sure if she's still the leader.
Okay.
If she's a de facto leader, I'm not really sure what's going on. So we need to know. And I know
I'll see what I can get.
And well, I know Mr. Tevin does be listening to the program, so maybe he can let us know too.
Okay.
And it's a good thing that he is listening to the program, because then he is getting some good information, truth, and not any lies, not anything watered down, as we would say. It seems to me that y'all is on an agricultural topic this morning.
Well, it stems from the fact that I don't know if you heard the beginning of when we started. Ms. Duncan was able to play a piece that came from the news last night, where they had interviewed a farmer and they showed the picture where he was saying, look, the nutmeg farmers are unable to sell, or the association is unable to purchase nutmegs from farmers now, because they're claiming that the cash drop, they don't have the cash. And even though they had promised them in a meeting some weeks ago that they will still take the nutmegs and give them a promissory note for payment at a later date, they are not doing that, and as a result, farmers are left with the nutmegs on hand to dry it and so on. It is compromising the quality, because they don't have the space and all of the techniques and skills to do it as good as the association will do it in the drying and curing facilities. So that is what sprung us into that conversation this morning.
All right, and I know that it is, and I have a problem with it. It is only GCNA can buy nutmeg.
Yes.
I personally have a problem with that. I think that should be, they should think about that.
So you would support liberalization, which is what the government is putting forward, merger of the associations, cocoa and nutmeg, and then liberalization of the market, where you would have different players that can now purchase. Are you in favor of that?
Yes. In fact, that is good. Because let me remind us as Grenadians, before we had the DCL, I couldn't own a cell phone. I couldn't even own a beeper. And if you own a beeper, if I beep you, it's 10 cents. If somebody beep, it's 10 cents both ways. So 20 cents spending for the beep.
Yes.
But now, as we have liberalization of that sector, everyone now is able to own a cell phone.
And sometimes...
And that is good. That is good. You get internet service on the go. Everybody has a cell phone. You can be in the mountain and you can reach somebody anywhere else. That is good. Before, it was not like that. So liberalization is good. But most importantly, I want to say that Minister Peter David made me very proud. I look at a show on GIS. Where he was being interviewed for a couple of minutes concerning the people who think that they have wisdom, and is saying that his moving to the Ministry of Agriculture is being is seen as a demotion.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, if it is seen as a demotion, I wonder why these people eat. Because you can't eat without agriculture. Agriculture is not good in their mind. Actually, if it's a demotion, it's telling me straight that agriculture is not good. There is nothing good about it. So, but you still eat. Everything, even if you go and you buy a packet of rice, is a farmer that plants it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know, I think it is good to talk, but it is not good to talk all the time. If you don't know what to say, it's best you shut up. You know, because then they actually make themselves look as a fool.
Yes.
And I say look as a fool. So don't call the radio and say people calling HARDTALK and calling them a fool. I say make them look as a fool. And then it was very surprising to me that even Minister David said some time ago he tried the idea to dock.
In 2007, maybe, before the election. Before the election,
okay. Right. So he tried out to dock at that time. So he had an interest in agriculture. And then, as they pointed out, a matter of fact, you have people, technical people in the ministry that actually does the job. You know, the minister is there to direct the activities, but it is the technical people. So you're telling me now that the technical people don't know what they're about.
Apparently so.
You see, so people who likes to oppose for opposing sake, it is not a good thing. If you have to oppose, because not everything NMP do, I support, not because I'm a supporter of the party, I'll support everything. There are some things I just don't support, and I call and I say I don't support that, and that's it. But for just opposing for opposing sake, you're making yourself look foolish. Think, do research. If you're not sure, keep your mouth hush, and then the reshuffle is not. To me, it's like first time in Grenadian history you had a reshuffle. Like you never had it in Grenadian history. This was the first time, and it was done in the dark of night, and so it was a surprise for everybody because we never knew that happened before. So anyhow, have a good day, and I wish that these people would sit down and listen. And to Kevin, please, I want to know what happened to Sister Bernadine because I'm very much concerned. I'm not hearing her. I'm only seeing Mr. Thomas. Thank you very much.
You are
Have a blessed and wonderful day, my brother.
Mr. Bola, you know something that really shocked me? I was listening to GBN News one night, and I had to laugh out loud. My children watching me like I crazy. And I had to say, but what are these crazy people? You know what happened?
No.
I hear with my own two ears a fellow individual. I can't say fellow individual. An individual from a certain party say that they are concerned over the fact that our dear Prime Minister gave up the Ministry of Finance. But we have recording of that same individual saying that Prime Minister would never give up the Ministry of Finance, that he always want to be where the money is. But they're so now they're concerned, you know, that in this COVID times, so that means that even they believe that he's the best economist to live in that position. That indirectly, that is what they are saying without saying it, you know. Indirectly, they are saying that our Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, is the perfect individual to live in this situation. Because you know why? They know the mess they live in 2008, in 2013. And they understood and they looked at how he came in and he just dealt with it, swept it and put us in a great position. So now they're afraid. COVID come. They want to know, well, how we could give up because he's the best man for the job, you know. So we are a little afraid now, you know, what will happen?
You see, as I've explained it before, government and some people behave either they really don't understand, or they just want to give an impression to people that they don't understand how government works. It's a collective effort.
Of course.
So even when you are the minister for a particular ministry, in terms of policy decision for that ministry, it's not an issue that you undertake all by yourself.
Yeah.
That's why you go to cabinet.
Yeah.
To have the benefit of experience, knowledge, and skills of other people. It's a combined effort. I have to hold that thought until
we take this call. Good morning.
Yes, I call back just to ask Mr. Bull.
Yes,
if you remember, if you could answer for me, people. In NDC, when NDC was in office, and the former Prime Minister, Mr. Tillman, good morning, sir, wherever he is, when he had shuffle, right? Could you remember where they had put Mr. Calhoun, what portfolio? Mr. Bola, could you remember that? He
was in health, and then I don't remember where from
and tell us where they had put Mr. Calhoun.
Okay, we'll check that out.
Talking about Peter David.
We'll check that out.
Somebody that know in Grenada listening, call back and tell me where they had put Mr. Calhoun. Was to what did he water, you know?
Yes.
Have a good day.
All right, Ms. Carmitan. But there were several reshuffles during that time.
Yeah.
There were several. And to his benefit, Mr. Thomas's benefit, I didn't hear him personally, but I was told that he was interviewed, I think, on To The Point, GBN. And the very question about Honorable David and his move to agriculture, his opinion on it. And he said it doesn't matter. He himself did not see it as a demotion, as some people are saying. I don't know if he had used those exact words, but in terms, the person was saying to me, the way in which he responded is that he was saying it is okay to put a minister, because he knows as Prime Minister himself that sometimes you move ministers around.
Yeah.
And of course, the rationale was given why we were moving ministers. And as someone said, earlier caller, we behave as though it's the first time ever there was a reshuffle of cabinet. I mean, reshuffles happen all the time. I mean, after 2.5 years, it's a long time before you make a reshuffle. So that means people are well grounded as ministers, where they were for quite a while.
Yeah.
And, you know, it really sometimes just baffles me how we behave at times. We behave as though our memories does just disappear, like you know, we don't see things, we don't remember things, but it all happens all the time.
We have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sister Duncan. Good morning, Brother Bola.
Good morning to you, sir.
You have a good topic this morning.
Well,
to make my hair in my head. I don't have hair in my head, but whatever I have is raisin.
Don't make us laugh.
Yeah, because, you see, they always shot themselves in the foot.
Yes.
That's the only party I see take the gun and aim to their own self.
Yes.
Because they don't have a heart.
Yes.
They portray the heart, but they do not have a heart. They don't want Dr. Mitchell. I called several times and tell him, Doc, you're getting tired. You have to do something. No, Doc, do something, because he's stepping down bit by bit until he gets out of the spotlight.
Yes.
No, they're getting angry.
Yes.
Why are you leaving the finance? I don't think that is a good move. I said, but all you hate, what all you like. I said, just imagine. All you do not like the man. He's the worst thing I'll ever see. Ever put his foot in Grenada. And now all you crying already.
Yes.
All you crying already. He took Peter and put him in agriculture, something Peter had liked for a long time. He bring up Dr. Doc already before. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
He cannot stay out there in foreign and able to rule a country. You know how Grenadian politics is, Brother Bola and Sister Duncan.
Yes.
If they don't see you, they don't like you.
Yeah.
They have to see you. You understand? So now Doc decided now it's time to move forward because he's stepping down. So he had to bring back Peter home.
Yes.
If Peter have any chance of being the leader of this country in the future, Peter must come back home to be among his people.
Yes.
It's just like Christ. He has to come back home. Because many times I'm telling to Doc, I haven't seen your left hand. I've seen the right, but I can't see the left.
The left, yes.
Yeah. So if you're going to do something, you have to make a start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like him, he's that, and this man is this. When the man decide, okay, well, I just move from finance. Oh, God, where you going? Where you going? He's the best man for that in corporate time. But all you hate, what all you like.
You see, if he moves, oh, God, well, they can't cost him again. So that's what they worry about. Or part of what they worry about, yes.
You know? So now they don't know because Mr. Boyne is capable enough.
Very much so, man. We have no doubt about it.
When Mr. Boyne going to college, they have to skip him in college.
We know.
Skip him.
We know.
A lot of people don't know how bright this man is, you know.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah? How do you mean? So don't study them. And when my late George Brizan, my former leader,
yes,
when he took up agriculture, it was the best thing he could have done.
Yes.
When the revolution took agriculture like 1-2 to get this country forward, it was the best thing they could have done.
Yes.
But now Peter David decided to take up the battle and say, let me go into agriculture. It's the worst thing. Oh, God, Peter's been demoted. I tell you.
We only have to laugh, you know. We only have to laugh.
Well, they must laugh because they hate what they like.
Yes. Yes.
You understand what I mean?
Yes.
They wait until Dr. Mitchell dead and say, oh, God, he was the best man ever who Grenada, you know.
Yes.
Yep.
No, according to the capital, and give me my flowers now.
While they're alive, give me flowers.
You while alive. Let me hear it.
Yes.
Let me hear it.
Yes.
All they don't want to hear it, all they pretending, and that's why I don't know if Franca kept something or something wrong that she might get tired of, that she can't come out now.
Well, I don't
know. You know what I mean?
I can't see.
I can't say. Well, that's why I'm asking the question. We're in Canada. You know, and I'm glad to hear somebody bring it up. I said, well, where, Franca?
Yes.
Because we party, my former party, have a way of shutting you up, you know.
Yes. Yes.
They have a way of shutting you up inside, you know.
Yes.
Because it's a coup over a coup d'etat over a coup d'etat, you know.
Okay.
But she have to remember how she become the leader of the party.
Yes.
It was a split thing, you know.
Yes.
What they have to do, they didn't do it, you know.
Okay.
They go behind doors and do what they want.
Right.
Because it's always a fight. You understand?
Yeah.
So that's why I just laugh and laugh and laugh. And I say, you see the little man who used to sell bread, I put the little tree on his head and go and sell the bread and go down in bushes you in the water down there to pick up water to bring back home?
Yes.
That's what killing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will go back to the last thing I'll tell you. The same Nazim, if Nazim had listened in the early, he'd have figured them out.
Okay.
But those who Nazim thought was feeding him, they was joining him.
Ah, we get it.
You see? That's why Nazim decided to walk out bit by bit and walk out of this thing. Because in any in any function they have, you have to walk with the bottle of water because that to cool him down.
Okay. But
you have to put the water in your mouth.
You're making some strong points there. I hope you have facts here because I don't want nobody to drink cut.
I'm telling you. That even if you never go back and watch them film.
You will.
Anytime something goes down. Anytime something going down, Nazim have a bottle of water to drink, you know.
Yes.
I think it is here. No. And the same people, because he forgot he was too black.
Yes.
He didn't look, he thought he was more fair than Dr. Mitchell. No. He forgot he was that black. Until they noticed, then till they make him know, bro, you too black, boy.
Once you black, you have to stay in the back.
Stay in the back.
I hear you.
Yeah, because when I told his friends, I don't know Nazim problem, why don't you tell him his problem? Are they not doing it? Are they jogging him? Are they hate him? That's all he was doing. And make him feel all he's the best friend. He's a brilliant young man. He's a brilliant young man. But they tie him up. They tie him in cobweb. And then now, they never support him. They never support him. They pretend they're supporting him. But they never support him. And today he could look back. And today he might figure out, oh God, all these things I said about Dr. Mitchell, and I call him this and call him rat and gotcha. Oh God, what I did that for? Because the same thing they do my family and Peters. They put her on a chair and they nail her, Mr. Bola.
Okay.
They nail her. That's why when they hit her so hard, that's how she cannot recover. You ever hear anything about her again?
We don't hear about her, we don't see her, we don't hear
No!
anything. Okay.
They're wicked. This woman was in the room with Morris. She see Morris go down. She see Jackie cut away from she hand. She see everything. She run in the hospital and hide for weeks. You understand?
Yes.
And they push her to call Dr. Mitchell all kind of shot black gambler, call him all kind of stupidness. Only to know she tongue go come next.
Yes.
Because that's the type of party I was involved in. They hate you. They hate you. You know, this kind of a hate. And they could never recover as long as they're living on this earth and have a voice. They will never recover because the school wouldn't change. They're still going to the same school. When I started to talk about politics, I say NDC is GBSS and college. GBSS and college. I'm telling them from the early show, Uncle say I say that, your Uncle say I keep saying that. I said that's what it was. We're fighting against each other too much.
Yeah.
We need one leader. And the reason why the revolution fell, because we didn't want one leader. Because Fidel tell Morris he have to lead the country. And Code was offended by that. If you go back to Abdullah and listen to what he's saying, write it down, take it, or tape it. That was the downfall. Because they didn't want Morris to lead the country. How could you make him progress and you don't want a man lead the country? What are we doing to Dr. Mitchell now? We doesn't want Dr. Mitchell to lead the country. Because they hate progress.
Yes.
My good friend Dr. Thomas died and gone now.
Yes,
they hate progress. And that is pain to this country. And the one thing I just tell them, when time to vote is one man, one vote. Yes. Call people stupid. Call them ignorant. Yes. Call them arrogant.
Call them needy and greedy. All kind of name.
Franco go up in Dabo and Franco tell the people in Dabo they go suck salt. My brother had to tell her to leave. Get out. The same Franca. So don't let nobody fool you. She go run up St. Paul, so she get vote. She go keep running. I don't know what she go run.
I do know.
But God is good, and God is smiling. And this little man they call Dr. Keith Mitchell, and I'm glad because I forced him. Jack, it's time to move down. Come down, bit by bit. No, you gonna tell me now? Boy, I tried, you had to call him back for me. I said the people been calling back for Christ,
Yes.
After they do all the shit, they were calling back for Christ,
Yes.
Yeah, he don't need we money. He don't need nothing. He come in Grenada with his money. He didn't come broke and borrow, take 3 months for advance salary. He didn't do that.
Okay.
He didn't do that type of stupidness.
You drink pepper tea this morning?
I'm telling you. He didn't do that type of stupidness. When I played for Grenada, I want a manager that I could look up to. That's why I look up to Roy St. John, Lisan Tema, because when I say I broke a little Scunton boy there, and I broke a manager, think that you have to run something.
Yes.
Yes. You have to run something. That's why we all the boys who play football, we know that. We don't want some little Scunton man who think they want to come and borrow money from us.
Okay.
That doesn't looking good at all. When Clovey, the late Clovey, when Clovey played the cricket and Clovey wanted a 2 plate of food, man, he said, give me food, let me eat.
Yes.
I want him bowl well. Is that for making him bowl well? Yes. When Alston George, right, playing and wanted a little rum to drink, man, he said, give me rum. Because when he drinking rum, he's bad in the defense.
Yes.
He playing.
Yes.
So it's what work.
Yeah.
That's why Keith Mitchell is so strong, because the whole of the Caribbean respect him.
Yes.
The whole of the Caribbean, he made Barbados what Barbados is today. A lot of people don't know that. That woman who rule in Barbados today, where she gets advice from? Dr. Mitchell.
Yes.
Right? Dr. Mitchell, she gets the movement from. And she take on the part of this man, the guy in Jamaica, who we respect, Dr. Keith Mitchell.
Yep.
Wholeness.
Yeah, he's a teacher to them. And in Grenada, we running with motor guard, you're good, running on the mother, all kind of stupidness. But wait, look at the acting mother, how he must so long.
And she telling come
in, you go see.
That's what I
yes,
Vinica.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And so that's why I go end here.
Take care, my brother. Thank you so much.
All right, then. And tell Sheldon I say hello.
We will.
Yes,
we will pass
Brother Scott, man. All right, then. Take care.
All right.
Good. Okay.
Like that call us sit down on them thing for days and waiting.
He really wanted an opportunity to
express
himself
to
free his mind. And I'm glad he wasn't disrespectful to anyone in any way. He said what he had to say. We gave him the opportunity. And so, there are people who have, they bring out their facts in different ways, you know. It is not everyone that is as fluent and as the other and can orate as good as each other, but, they can say what they have to say. And, we thank them for that.
We have another call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Duncan.
Good morning.
And a special morning to Mr. Bowler.
Thank you so much, and good morning to you as well, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, I can tell you that the last caller, he stole all my thunder.
Oh, Lord. Well, you want to come with lightning now?
No, I tell you, no, and I did not even prepare for lightning, so let me calm the thing down a little.
Okay.
Now, Mr. Bowler and Miss Duncan, this morning, I know there is a lot of people who is listening to the program, and they're happy. They're glad because, we are saying all the right things.
Yes.
But do you know, I'm sad, and I'm literally crying. And the reason why I am saying that is because I cannot believe that was the political organization I was a part of. I cannot believe that that was the political organization that I gave so much effort, time, and money to.
Don't worry, we all make mistakes.
I can't. I cannot believe that an organization one time that was the alternative to the NNP has deteriorated from a hero to a zero. I cannot believe today that even if people are dissatisfied with the NNP, they still have to give the NNP a chance, because when they look on the other side, they are not seeing anything. I cannot believe that that is the NDC party that I was part of, Miss Bola, Mr. Bola, and Miss Duncan. It hurt my heart today. Now, you talk about people being confused. If you find me confused, it's because I was part of that organization. But listen to how confused they are. They had the most to say about agriculture. We don't care. The Prime Minister don't care. You know, agriculture don't mean nothing to us. Everything is about tourism, you know, and building hotels. Today, we put a minister with a proven record of success and delivery as the Minister of Agriculture. And these people and them still finding fault, they still not satisfied. You know, I'm trying to figure out, well, what else do they want? Now, they said Dr. Mitchell is not good. They call Dr. Mitchell as finance minister corrupt. They say he steals. They say he mismanaged our finances. Today, the gentleman step aside.
Yes.
And know the balling.
Yes.
So it takes this is the whole thing. What happens to us? We wait till people die to say, well, oh, there was a good man, and giving them all these accolades. We know that is the best finance minister we have. We know that was the most qualified finance minister we had, not only in Grenada, but in the region. They know that, but because of politics, because of hate, because of spite, and because of envy, the envy that they have for the Prime Minister, they refuse to acknowledge it. Today, they step aside, and that's what it takes for them to realize how good the gentlemen have been. And Mr. Bola, you know why they are so hateful towards our Prime Minister? It's because that is the only political genius, as we speak, that remains on this island of ours.
Yes.
Mr. Bola and Ms. Duncan, I thank you for the time.
All right, thank you.
And we thank you too for your contribution. We appreciate.
Guys, remember the lines are open. The number to call is 44073.
Just for a few more minutes.
Yeah, 77. And if you are in the diaspora and you want to give us a call, it's 3473293101. We only have a few more minutes. We're only going to be able to take, give or take, about 3 calls, depending on how lengthy they are, right? But we do like giving people an opportunity to express themselves. We spend a lot of time talking here, but it's always good when we can hear it from both sides, when we can hear different views and different opinions on the topics that we discuss. We have another caller that seems to be coming in. Let's take that call quickly. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning,
Hey,
Mr. Bola.
good morning, sir.
Yeah. Well, it's just a question, you know, as I wish you may be able to answer to it, to give the people of Grenada who pretending that they was not here for a while and they just come back and they doesn't have a good understanding of what might have went on in Grenada from 1974 to this time we are in right now. whenever in the history of Grenada there was more done for the youth in this country from 74 to now, comparing 1974 to now.
To present. Well, we all know. We could go back, we could get the facts, we could get the information. It is the best time.
I say it in that light now because there is some people pretending, the wicked-minded people who's there and know very well exactly what is going on. And for some reason, this thing is beyond politics. This thing is about hate.
Yes.
This thing is about grudge, jealousy, envy, covetous. These people and them, this thing is way beyond politics. Because if it's for politics alone, certain lies that they're sharing, they would never start even thinking about doing it. This thing way beyond politics. And I'm so sorry that is what they put into politics when it comes to Grenada. Because at the end of the day, it's for all of us to live in. Whatever project that is in this country are in plan to come on, at the end of the day, Dr. Mitchell out of office, Gary Bowen out of office, it is belonging to the Grenadian people.
Certainly.
Yeah.
It's national asset. Nothing that Dr. Mitchell did in his reign as a prime minister when he go in, he go put it on some brother or sister name, so them will be the beneficiary of it.
So
and that is what these guys are making people to believe.
Yeah.
You know, the make-belief is like they don't want to acknowledge the fact that there was others before. They might have liked them, yes, but they was not doing things to us that would have perhaps been beneficial to us. You know, a parent could like a child as much, but the child just doesn't have certain things that the parent looking for from the child.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been the problem with the other political party which been around, because, you know, they bring one or two guys who perhaps have good pretentious way of smiling and walking the road and like them is Christ, you know?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what do people really want? Yes, they want Christ around them, but not just Christ without anything, because Christ exists on earth, but he wasn't just Christ like that.
Yes, Christ that was walking.
He was a Christ that caring about people.
Mm-hmm.
He was a concerned individual.
Mm-hmm.
But the Christ they want to pretend they are now making us to believe we're stupid and they are sense, because the guys and them cry down a lot of things in this country. And the mistake we make is not asking them what better they will come with now. They only cry on what is going on. And we give them, like we was not thinking rightly. Every project that come on, they cry down, and we give them a chance to come to see. Without they tell us enough, we're giving them a chance to come. When they come, they start watching one another, back, front, side, you know, like asking questions to their own self. They don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. Grenada was on a standstill. Things wasn't happening for Grenada. We start facing embarrassment in all different ways, because moving from a government with Prime Minister Keith Mitchell and going to others, which, I mean, when they go to other countries to hold certain briefings, it was total embarrassment, questions, calling back and ask, yeah, what, that all the votes for in Grenada, that all the replace Dr. Mitchell. You understand?
So people really used to do that? Call and ask that?
Yes, when they went in Trinidad, and make them mad the first trip they made to Trinidad whenever they was in government, when he came into government. Patrick Mann also called back to Grenada and asked, what now? That was the replacement? That is the replacement for Dr. Mitchell? Because he had more than one leader. Head of government, you know.
Yes.
He went in Trinidad, but you have about 5 managed leaders.
Yes.
They had also turned back a couple of the others and tell them, well, no, you're not authorizing here because it's the lead. And like, it's shame to tell the people, well, we have a collective government.
They are joint leadership?
Yeah, leadership. So how they are for it now? He has even dressed better than the Prime Minister, actually, the General Prime Minister. You know?
Yeah.
Who was actually the Prime Minister, they wasn't too sure, you know, because who they're looking at to be the Prime Minister was not, you know.
Yes.
It was just good, you know.
Yes.
So that was the kind of puppy show Grenada was undergoing for a lot of years. And today, we find ourselves back on the right track. Just come and quickly, let me give you before I leave. I wish you're in cabinet. Them guys making like this thing is puppy show.
Like a revolution take place.
Yeah, agriculture the backbone of the economy. They must invest more in agriculture. They must do this more in agriculture. They must do that more in agriculture. Today, they only put an individual in charge as a minister. It become a situation that they, you know, it's something surprising to them, and it's like the biggest, something like, I don't know what really went on in the Ministry of Agriculture. I've seen that they just make Peter David the Minister of Agriculture. it is a demotion, and it's a this and it's a that, making people up on the other side of the world asking, what kind of people are living in Grenada? Where they really from? And they come happen to be living in Grenada. They can never be Grenadian to behave in a way and using them kind of, making them kind of statement. You know? But I'm so happy that the way things is going on right now, the people like who hate, who like, who for, who against, they understand what is happening, not for Dr. Mitchell, not Gigi Bori, not none of the ministers inside it, but it's for every individual in this country. It's to the benefit of this country from now on, because they don't do anything to put money in the Pakistan, so when they go, what happened behind it, they don't care about nobody else. That is not the situation. What they're doing now is a foundation, is a platform that could be built upon by other governments to come. And that is what really going on.
Certainly.
At this time.
Let me just ask you quickly now. A caller called earlier on and asked if we could remember when they moved in the NDC time, Minister Hood, Carl Hood from Health, where did they put him? Could you recall that?
Foreign Affairs?
Before you were, after you were, they put him someplace of insignificance. I can't remember where, but the caller.
But the other ministry, one of them when they are not the same Carl, but it was not ministry known by us before.
Like they make a ministry for him?
Somebody said Ministry of the Sea.
Well, yeah, somebody said that they put him to Watson, but I can't remember. I
remember the name, but it was an unpopular name because we didn't accustom to it. Matter of fact, it was a more than a surprise to Carl.
Yes.
He didn't know which apartment to go to get to find him a place of.
He didn't even know where ministry was supposed to be situated. Now, I remember there was some kind, but in my mind, I just ask you because I know you're a guy who does remember the history. Yeah, but one thing now, these same people who calling and talking about more for agriculture and things, they already forget quick. Remember during that time, we didn't have a hurricane. We didn't have a pandemic. We didn't have nothing. And Grenada couldn't even produce banana for us to eat. We had to import banana from Suriname. During the time when NDC was in office?
Big enough time, and we didn't have much time to talk about that particular story. And next time again on the program, because I have a nice history about NDC and the behavior in agriculture.
Yes.
Yeah, this same caring party that care about agriculture and want to see more happen for agriculture. I have a nice history about
Well, you've been farming for a long time, so I know you would have a lot to say.
So, next time around, I will call the program again.
Take your time.
Yeah. So
enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for your contribution. And I think we are winding down. We are what now?
We have 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. Take care, bro. Nice. Have a good one. 5 more minutes. We could take another call if we get one.
Yeah, we can take one more, just one more call. But in all this conversation, we've heard a lot of information, a lot of people airing their views and so on what they believe is happening and who they believe is best for the country. In everything that is happening, Mr. Bola, I want people to listen attentively to the historical facts surrounding all of this conversation, which is the fact that this government is the government that is able to produce and develop for this country. We have that may be our last caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Duncan. Good morning, Mr. Bola.
Good morning.
Just in on the last call, and just to the folks on the island that praise plenty, just calling for praise for the last deputy prime minister we had. We're very much in need of a prayer now, so we could just do so. I would appreciate it. Okay. And have a blessed one.
All right, you as well.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
All right.
And absolutely.
He said the last deputy prime minister is in need of praise. We'll take this one last call because that last call wasn't very long. Hello, good morning. Hello. Hello, good morning, caller.
I'll be less than a minute, just a few seconds.
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
One thing, a compliment for Honorable Bowen, as one who has known him for many years. I believe a lot of Grenadians don't know him. One of the most brilliant engineers in the Caribbean. One of the smartest men in Grenada. That's one. Secondly, as I close,
My heart hurt me yesterday when a very religious good friend of mine, a lady from Grenada, called me. And she was so sad. She said a brother called her and told her that Dr. Mitchell sold Grand Tang. The Chinese stole all kind of things to the Chinese. And she said, oh, my heart hurting me so much. I said, let not your heart be troubled. When I explained to the lady, she said, thank God you were there to explain to me. Have a blessed day.
Just one thing before you run away. You are in Canada, as you say. Do a little research for us, because I keep saying that to people. There are Chinese nationals or Chinese people of Chinese origin in almost every part of the world involved in business. And I know they are in Canada too. So maybe sometime next week when you get the time and you can call and just highlight for us the kinds of business and how many businesses you know that the Chinese are involved in Canada. Thank you.
I'll try my best. Have a blessed day.
You have a good one. No, good.
All right, Mr. Bola, it's time for us to close. Any closing remarks from you?
As the caller said, kudos to Minister Boeing. I've sent my congratulations to all of the ministers that all moved into different portfolios, and a lot of us in Grenada, a lot of people. I happen to know him fairly well, I will say, because I've worked with him for quite a while. I've worked closely with him, and I know the depth and skills that this man possesses. I know how many different areas he can handle all at one time because of the kind of skills that he acquired and his ability to multitask. So I have absolutely no fear for those who think that he's only an engineer and that finance is not an area of strength for him. Well, you will see and you will learn, because I know of his capabilities. But I do say to all Grenadians, listen, we are in a small country. We are under the leadership of a prime minister, a government, and a party that has demonstrated time and time again that they have done things just short of miracles to ensure that this country continues to stay afloat, continues to move forward, and that improvement continues to come to the lives of people who needs it the most. Yes, there are always some people who get slipped through the crack. There are always some people who are missed for varying reasons. And sometimes because someone did not get what they wanted to or what you think they deserve is simply because the government don't care about them. Let us investigate the circumstances and the rationales behind why sometimes some people did not get the assistance that you think they deserve. So sometimes we go about doing the blame game without understanding the factors surrounding. Yeah. As we always say here on this program, whatever you hear, whatever you read, whatever you see, whatever you are told, please verify, fact check before you consume and then digress or share with others.
Yep.
We want you to be a much more educated, sharp, and smart people. Hence the reason HARDTALK try to bring you factual information. We want to thank all those who participated in the program today, those who have had the opportunity to call, to say your piece. We do hope that another opportunity will come around when people can get to say their piece again, when we can get into more discussion, when we can talk about the issues current or even past, because they will help to guide the way and lead us forward. Do enjoy the rest of Thursday. I do believe that we're going to be out tomorrow,
Yes, we
Ms.
are
Duncan.
out tomorrow.
We're not here. It may be a repeat of a program tomorrow,
Yes.
God willing.
Maybe just this one. You never know.
Because both Ms. Duncan and myself are engaged in other activities tomorrow, not together. We're not going to the same place and doing the same thing. I know all these Grenadians, some of all this smart, all they just put all kind of thing on your head. Let me careful what I say. Both Ms. Duncan and I are going to separate functions tomorrow, so we won't be available for the program. But do enjoy the rest of Thursday. Do enjoy your weekend, because I won't be able to talk to you tomorrow, God's willing. And hopefully, should the Father spare us and keep us alive with good health, we shall be together again next Monday.
Absolutely. Guys, we've come to the end of the line. In whatever you say and whatever you do, be safe, be secure. We always want to be talking with you, and we don't ever want to be talking about you. Please do enjoy the remainder of your day and stay tuned for the national report. Have a wonderful day, guys.
Regulations for controlling spread of COVID-19 now under Public Health Act. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Wednesday, September 16th, 2020, I am Rikisha St. Louis. Government has published new regulations for controlling the spread of COVID-19 under the Public Health Act, which means they are no longer under the Emergency Powers Regulations. Under the Public Health COVID-19 Regulations 2020, some exemptions are being made with regard to wearing face masks. Children under the age of 5, those with medical, physical, or mental illness or disability, which inhibits their ability to wear a face mask, and people who cannot put on or remove a mask without severe distress will be exempted. However, people who need to go into a business place will have to remove the mask slightly for identification purposes. Masks will also not be required for people going to the beach once they are no less than 6 feet from any person outside of their household. The same rule applies for those visiting a public park. The new regulations also provide for all businesses to operate except those which are directed by order by the Minister for Health to shut down or are given specific conditions under which to operate. The Public Health Act regulations, which were gazetted on Wednesday, September 16th, will come into effect on Thursday, September 17th. Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell has been speaking further about the newly announced changes to the makeup of Grenada's cabinet. The Prime Minister has consistently stated that his mid-term cabinet reshuffles are intended to broaden the experience of government ministers and improve their versatility in handling the affairs of the state, while at the same time provide an opportunity for government to enhance its overall performance. In a radio interview Wednesday morning, Dr. Mitchell was questioned further about the rationale for reassigning the various portfolios. With respect to the Ministry of Finance, Dr. Mitchell explained that while it is the norm for leaders to retain responsibility for finance, it is not the first time he has assigned that portfolio to another minister. Dr. Mitchell expressed full confidence in the capability of Honorable Gregory Bowen, who will assume responsibility for the Ministry of Finance, Economic Development, Physical Development, Public Utilities, and Energy. For the first time, the Prime Minister has added youth development to his portfolio. He noted that young people in particular are significantly challenged by the impact of COVID-19 pandemic as it has affected their education, their socialization, which helps to build character, and their ability to participate in sports. The appointment of Honorable Peter David as Minister for Agriculture, Forestry and Lands has been labeled a demotion by some, but Dr. Mitchell said such a notion is laughable and an insult to the nation's farmers. Dr. Mitchell said, and I quote, "Minister David is considered one of the more people-oriented ministers in this administration, and it makes sense to have him bring that particular strength to the agriculture sector and create a greater connection with the farmers and other stakeholders." Referring to the appointment of Senator Norland Cox as the Minister for Infrastructure Development, Transport and Implementation, Dr. Mitchell said, and I quote, "Although he is not elected representative, as a senator, he has demonstrated the maturity, communication and people skills required for that position," unquote. On the separation of hospital services from the General Ministry of Health, Dr. Mitchell said it was critical to do so. The changes in the ministerial appointments will take effect on Monday, October 5th, 2020. This is the National Report. The news will continue after the break.
The house was shaking. Then suddenly saw we hear bang, crack, and the roof had gone.
Man, I was so scared, I nearly wet myself.
Only those who have lived it can truly understand the devastating fury of a hurricane's wind.
The house across the road just get up and roll over.
Hurricane force wind. It's a hazard. Hazards. Take control. Reduce your loss. You can hurricane-proof your home. For example, make your roof more wind-resistant by using screws instead of nails in its construction. Find out more about hurricane force winds and other hazards at your local disaster office. A message from the National Disaster Management Agency and SEDERA.
Welcome back. Close to $500,000 EC worth of ICT equipment was officially commissioned during a virtual handover ceremony to the New Life organization NULO on Wednesday morning. The project was selected through an evaluation process by the Universal Service Fund Committee and recommended for funding because of the anticipated impact of ICT to the organization's educational development. Minister with responsibility and oversight for the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission and the Universal Service Fund, Honorable Gregory Bowen, said government is cognizant of the importance of implementing policies that have positive implications for education, employment, innovation, and entrepreneurship.
With projects like this one being commissioned today, the government continues to take conscious steps to prepare our youth for the fourth industrial revolution so that they can exploit opportunities in cloud computing, digitalization, and artificial intelligence, just as every other country in the world is striving to do.
After a competitive bidding process, Affordable Island Communication was awarded a contract to the tune of $489,843 to implement the project and provide support for 2 years. NULO's executive director, Sister Margaret Yamoha, said that they have always wanted to expose their trainees to technological advancements, but did not have the internet capacity to do so.
Today, we are so glad, we are so appreciative that any part of the compound that our trainees are, in their department, in the furniture making lab, in the electrical installation lab, in the cosmetology lab, doing hair, sewing, doing early childhood, they have full access to internet because of this project. And now that dream that we had, that we could contribute much more than we have already done for Grenada, has become a reality.
Education Minister Honorable Emmeline Pear, who has full responsibility for NULO, says while the COVID crisis has brought to the fore the importance of thinking and operating outside of the box, visionary leadership is equally as important.
Had we waited on COVID-19, we could not be having sessions taking place at a school now and students being at home being able to access those sessions. Had it not been for COVID, for that visionary leadership in COVID-19, we would have been saying we cannot train our teachers. We have to wait for COVID to disappear before we start training. But in COVID-19, in all that's happening, we have been able to train over 1,600 teachers online, right? And I'm saying all this to say that what we have, what we're receiving this morning is a blessing.
The project will provide ICT equipment, including desktop computers, laptops, switches, and other ancillary devices to outfit 3 computer labs on NULO's campus. This project will also provide wireless access points to increase coverage and connectivity across the NULO campus.
It is our hope that this project will transform the New Life organization into a technology-friendly campus where the students, teachers, and other immediate community members can all nurture and share digital experiences. Further, upon observation of regional and international trends, it is evident that the future would be woven by technological strings that are bound to defy traditional modes of operation and delineate boundaries, thus bringing the world closer together.
That was Lyndon Telesford, ICT specialist at the NTRC. Finally, in the news, 9 containers of engineering material were handed over to the Ministry of Youth Development, Sports, Culture and the Arts on Tuesday by the People's Republic of China as part of their China Aid Technical Cooperation Project. The equipment, which will be used for the maintenance of the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, is valued at 1.5 million EC dollars. Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Grenada, His Excellency Dr. Zhao Yongchen, stated that the handover is symbolic to the strengthening relationship between both countries. He pledged China's desire to continue the relationship in the years to come.
The two stadiums has not only become a symbol of the old bilateral friendship, but also a name card of Grenada, playing a significant role in the sports and culture life. Dozens of sports events are held here each year, including many major international events, such as the 2007 Cricket World Cup. China is willing to continue the assistance within its capacity to restore sport and cultural life after epidemic. Depend on bilateral cooperation in various fields on the framework of the Belt and Road initiatives.
Since the construction of Kirani James Stadium, China has maintained the upkeep of the facility. Speaking on behalf of the Minister for Sport, Norland Cox, Permanent Secretary Desiree Stevens said they are happy for the contribution, which will have a positive impact on her ministry.
We know that these equipment and material would assist immensely with the maintenance work to be carried out to ensure that this facility remains top of the class so that we can continue hosting local, regional, and international athletes in keen competition, as well as engage in other cultural and festival events and activities. I want to take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks on behalf of the government and people of Grenada to the People's Republic of China through Ambassador Dr. Zhao Yongchen for the tremendous support given to the Ministry of Sports in facilitating this and many other projects.
Foreign Affairs Minister Honorable Peter David explained that the donation will not only benefit the Ministry of Sports, but all sectors of the economy.
The aid for the National Stadium and the aid given by China for sport is aid that is helping us to become independent, to become more self-sufficient. Not self-sufficient, as I said, there is no country in the world that will become self-sufficient, but it is helping us develop the pillars of our economy. So when we have the Kirani assistance given to develop athletics, and we have our sportsmen, and I want to commend all of the persons involved in sport. You've done a tremendous job over these last couple of years to put Grenada on the map. I want to give them a round of applause for the work done in that regard. And when we go on the map in sport, we go on the map to develop a pillar of our economy, which includes tourism. And tourism improves agriculture because we bring more people to eat our agricultural products. So there is linkages in every sector. And the Chinese government and people have been giving us assistance in every single one of those pillars so that we can develop our economy.
That story just ended the national report for today, Wednesday, September 16th. Let's recap the top story. Regulations for controlling spread of COVID-19 now under Public Health Act. On behalf of the entire news and production team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.